I'm a gold investor, and today I'm going to give you 8 reasons why I invested in gold. Yes, I actually sat down last night and put together a sheet of 8 reasons why I put money into gold. And I did it through my retirement. I have a self-directed IRA. I invested in precious metals through it, but whether you invest in a precious metals IRA or you just do it through a direct purchase of gold or even silver is up to you. So like a true student of the game and someone who's an educator and very organized here, as you can see, I'm passionate about investing. I made a list here right here. So number 1 is gold has a history of holding its value. In fact, the stats on this are quite mesmerizing. Since the year 2000, the value of the US dollar has lost 40%. 40%. Now, if you held gold from the year 2000 until today, you'd have made nearly 10 times your money. Imagine that, having a dollar and having it be worth only 60 cents right now, or having a dollar and having it be worth $10. To me, the choice is very, very simple. Gold advantage. Number 2 is the weakness of the US dollar. And that kind of just piggybacks on my first point that I made right there. And basically, as we both know, the US has printed so much money and we've got a huge trade deficit. Do you think that's going to be erased in our lifetime? I don't care who our leader is, Democrat, Republican, other, until we get the inflation out of control and until we get our deficit back in order, precious metals like gold are always going to have value. I don't care who's in charge. Again, I'm not creating a political controversy. No matter who's in charge, until we get that deficit under control, the value of the dollar is in trouble. Gold, on the other hand, is steady, and that just piggybacks again on my first point that I made. The weakness of the US dollar should really scare you. It scared me. I exited a business because the inflation was so out of control that my margins went way down. You see it every day in life, whether you're buying chicken wings, other things at the grocery store, going out to eat, it's all over the place. Fuel, of course, is a big one, and we're big consumers of fuel. Number 3 is it's an inflation hedge. Now, gold is a huge, massive inflation hedge. You can look that up anywhere. There's a perceived store of value with gold, and that goes back over time, many, many decades, right? It's been out of control. Now, personal examples that I just gave you, like eating wings and being in the cosmetics business, are examples that I can speak from. Maybe you have different examples from your purchasing and where you buy your products, but to me, the US dollar just isn't worth what it was. And fighting inflation is obviously something that's gonna be on everyone's minds going forward. Is it only gonna get worse? Is it gonna improve? I mean, if it improves even a little bit, we're still way behind where we were in 2019 as far as purchasing power, right? Gold is perceived as a store of value, making it the ultimate inflation hedge. That's point number 3. Also, on the contrary of that, there's deflation protection. Now, I had to look up what that actually was when I was looking at my research. I didn't know what deflation really typically meant. I had an idea, but I didn't really know. So during the Great Depression, the relative purchasing power of gold soared because basically people chose to hoard cash, and the safest place to hold cash at the time was in gold and in gold coins. Makes sense. Number 5, geopolitical uncertainty. You guys, when global tensions rise and there's wars, people leave their local currencies. They leave global currencies. When they question leadership, they move on to another currency. And that's when gold comes into play. You can go silver, palladium, all the way down the line, but everything else minus currencies start to pick up steam. Number 6, supply constraints. A lot of the selling of gold comes from central banks. This selling has taken a nosedive since 2008. Even further, the production of gold and new mines has slowed over the last 23 years. It's simply something that we can't easily make or produce, unlike the US dollar, which we can just seem to print all day long like monopoly money. Number 7, increasing demand, and that's global demand, not just here in the United States. India and China are huge purchasers of gold. They're the top 2 in the world. Now, gold prices, it's actually a fact, will typically go up during October, which is Indian wedding season, because so much gold is purchased. If that's not a trend right there and something you can get behind, I don't know what it is. Number 8, portfolio diversification. You want to diversify your portfolio like I did? Gold and silver are the 2 top ways you can diversify outside of stuff like stocks, mutual funds, real estate. Right here, you've got some assets that almost everybody invests in. Most people have exposure to equities, mutual funds. You own your own home, maybe you own a rental property, commercial building. People go at all different levels. But gold and silver are a hedge against all of those. And if you don't own those and all of those go down, your portfolio is just gonna sink, okay? It's time tested. There are graphs and studies that show this dating back many, many years, especially the years 2008 to 2015, where gold and silver doubled and even tripled in price, while my personal portfolio went down about 70%. My home values here in Miami went down 40, 50, even 60% on some spec stuff that I was doing. So I can see this firsthand why gold is the ultimate portfolio diversification tool. People have had their savings gutted, but when you're holding gold and silver, as the market plummets, you're holding on to something that's going to appreciate, which can hopefully offset and keep you treading water in tough times. Now, in closing, why should you invest in gold? For me, it's all the reasons I just mentioned right there, plus the safety of knowing I own something that when everything else plummets will go up. 5 to 20% 80% of your portfolio should be in precious metals. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's recommended by many people. If you're not holding it, what is your plan?